Any rules on which one is there? It's time. Where's that place?
Andrew Schultz, do you know?
Yeah.
Many rules there to progress.
Yeah.
I'd like to call the meeting of January 3rd to order. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of myself, council and staff, we wish everyone in our community a happy new year. Each new year is a time of possibility, a time for us all to create new opportunities, overcome challenges, and exceed excellence. Through collaboration, council will hit the ground running, tackling a number of leading issues for residents. It's been 1 month since we first started working together, and I'm excited about what the next 4 years can bring to this township. It's time for updating and reviewing our existing procedures. It's time now to begin the budget process, looking to improve efficiency and spend wisely. Specifically, I've driven around the township, checking out the condition of our roads, and I can see the need for improvement in many places. It's time to make a plan and then work the plan. I will push each committee to keep revitalization throughout the township, front and center, as this budget is formed. We are proud to live in Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards, and our roads and assets should reflect that pride. Let's make sure this budget goes above and beyond to make our community stand out from the rest. In the spirit of new ideas, I have the pleasure of meeting with the KHR Youth Advisory Committee for the first time last week at the Killaloe IDA drugstore. This is a volunteer group of young individuals who care about and love this township. The committee's goal is to support and recognize their fellow youth and ensure that young voices are heard throughout the township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards. It's not too late to get involved. Young people between the ages of 14 to 25 are welcome to join in the conversation, and you can contact them through my email. The committee's main objective to act as an advisory body to the mayor and council on matters which have an impact on youth in KHR, to identify and bring forward issues which will have an impact on KHR youth, to foster a positive image of youth in our community by promoting community events and activities in KHR, to promote positive, meaningful activities for youth in partnership with the community, to act as an advocate for youth issues, to encourage youth to become more familiar with the work of local government through education, involvement, and participation. I was so proud of these 6 individuals who have stepped forward so far. The group represents a good cross-section of KHR youth. Everyone joined in by speaking out, almost like they were just waiting to be asked what they thought. And their names are Aaron Brown, first-year Teachers College; Josh Philipper, finished high school and is now working; Emma Mask, second-year University of Ottawa; Ethan Mask, grade 11, MV; Ruby Kubasowski, grade 9, MV; and Clara Cernoski, second year early childhood education at Algonquin College in Ottawa. Here's a few of the items they brought forward during our hour-long meeting. Council meetings. The sound quality on YouTube is very poor. And inside too. Summer jobs. They'd like to see a variety of opportunities. Better paying job for older students. Better communication about job opportunities. We have to go to them, not wait for them to come to us. Better social opportunities. They want to develop a sense of pride and bragging rights to be the ambassadors of our township. We have been presented with this information at this stage, and although our actions will not be immediate, we must be mindful of this info as we move forward. As the elected, we are accountable. As the elected, we are accountable and should show progress. The township must improve our communication with the public, especially through social media. There are various forms of social media used by various age groups. For example, as I found out at the Youth Advisory Committee meeting, the young people are not on Facebook anymore. It's important for us to use platforms the public are using and share important township news regularly. We need to spend some time looking at how we are currently communicating with the public, and this conversation will take place during our budget discussions. Finally, I encourage everyone to get out in the community, explore the outdoors, introduce yourself to your neighbors, join a team, attend a community event, and volunteer. There are so many hidden gems to discover in Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards for both new and longtime residents. I hope 2023 brings you and your family and friends good health and new adventures. Now we'll go First Nations land acknowledgement. As we gather this morning, this afternoon, this evening, either one of those two, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this committee and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Now, can we have a moment of silent reflection? Thank you. Does any member of council have pecuniary or financial interest to declare? No? Now, we have a couple of visitors. Are you people delegations or are you just visiting? Just visiting?
Learning.
Learning.
I don't hear you very well, so I really can't tell what to say. It's got nothing to do with you. It's a new problem, man.
Okay, you want to address council?
Not tonight.
Okay, so you're just learning too?
Exactly.
Awesome. We all are learning. Okay, motion to approve minutes of the regular council meeting of December 20th, 22, open and closed sessions.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Maureen McMillan, motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on December 20th, 2022, open and closed sessions.
All those in favor? Carried.
Nope, I'm going to the results now.
Mr. Hawley, can we have your report?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so we're busy there at Christmas, snow plowing on Christmas Eve and doing some of the drifts as well on Christmas Day. We had a few guys in to get the drifts out of the spots or whatever that were rolling from the lake and stuff like that. Boxing Day, we had a beaver dam burst on Lynn Road. So guys had to put roughly 4 loads of fill on the road there. The culvert didn't burst or nothing like that, but just the dam did. So we just had to, fix up the road and stuff. Then that evening, we had we had to put signs up on Hidden Trail. I guess the water moved its way down there, and there was about 4 inches of road or water on the road on Hidden Trail. The culverts were open. It was just we had to put some signs up just to make travelers aware that there's water on the road. Then this Saturday, the garbage compactor there, I got a call from Darren at the landfill site and said there's a noise on the garbage compactor. So I got a guy in there on Monday to look at it. So there's a gear, it's going to be down for probably 3 business days. So there's a gear in between the bearing and the shaft or whatever that needs to be replaced. So it should be done hopefully by Thursday, if everything goes well, if not Friday. So we'll end up burning some garbage at the Killaloe landfill. We do have contingency there. That's why we have that in place at the Killaloe landfill, so we'll still be operational there. Today we're actually grading some of the roads. We had a grader doing like Mask Road was really bad and Harrington and a few other roads. The back drag there on our truck too, we had some potholes in. So we were dragging some of that to get that going. Coal patching continues. We had a few potholes there in the village and on some of the roads we're patching there as well today. And then just regular maintenance on equipment. We're doing some maintenance on it. So other than that, it's status quo. And that's it for my report,
Just a routine week for you, eh?
pretty much.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris?
Okay, so summer student grant applications are now open. I'll be bringing in a few suggestions and ideas to the human resources meeting regarding summer students before applying for grant opportunities. We did have a last minute request from the mayor to bring this to council tonight, so I apologize, I don't have everything ready for the, we want to talk about, but we're wanting to talk about kind of what options are available, summer students' needs and stuff. So I prepared a quick document here that kind of talks about very briefly what I was hoping to talk about on the 10th. And I'll provide as much detail as I can, but there's some things that we're gonna have to wait on because there's a meeting this week that we're trying to figure out. So in regards to the swim program, we had a meeting this week with the lead instructor to discuss program needs and possible expansions while she's home for the holidays. Last year, we had to turn kids away because there was so many kids that wanted to go into it. So we've had larger than ever numbers. It seems to be growing bigger and bigger by year. And so possible expansion of maybe 1 or 2 more staff may be requested depending on the conversation that we have. So that's all I can really say right now. It's really all going to depend on what she needs, because there's 2 problems happening with this program. One, we're switching over to Life Saving Society. So it's a whole nother kind of bunch of stuff that has to be done, as well as looking to expand it. Plus you've got the lack of swim instructors. So if we're looking to build a bigger program, that means we can insulate ourselves better in the future for potential lack. Because last year we had a really hard time getting summer students. So it's a really competitive market. So ideally we want to get them out as fast as possible with the best kind of options for them. But that's really all going to depend on the meeting we have with her this week to kind of see what she's looking for. Visitor Information Center. So last year we had one. So last year we had summer experience and Canada Summer Jobs. But what we realized is that Canada Summer Jobs was better bang for the buck. Canada Summer Experience basically only has a limited amount of months that you can use it for. So it's very restricting. So it's only good for something that's a temporary position, a short-term need, something like that. So we could find something in regards to that. But definitely Canada Summer Jobs is a better option. The problem is we literally calculated almost down to the exact hour of how much time they needed, and they had to leave sometimes. So basically we didn't qualify. They allowed us to get away with it, but next year, what I was thinking is that we could extend the hours so that they can not only qualify for that, but also help out with the Songs in the Park, so that they can be there, the washroom can be open. If I need help or my summer student needs help, then they can be right there and accessible. And then that'll give them the proper hours to qualify. So that was just kind of my idea for that. Community development. So we traditionally hire early, but we didn't put it in the application for an early start. So we should just do that this year, because we're always paying anyways for the student to become early, but this year, at least if we do it farther out, we'll get more money for that job. So that's something kind of looking to change. Community planner, I'm not sure where we're standing with this one. This could be one for actually the summer experience because it's short term. And last year, that was basically someone who was supposed to help me plan for long-term projects, kind of basically the idea being that we have a workbook full of ideas of stuff we want to do as a municipality. And when grants come up, they're shovel ready, good to go. Unfortunately, that student wasn't able to take the position last minute, so we couldn't do that. But that was something last year, so this could be an option for summer experience. Flower caretakers, so we had, last year we ended up using a student for most of our thing, and it could get covered as well. So that's a consideration if we want to add that in there for a summer student, because it would save money. Works department, hadn't really talked to Dean yet, but had planned to discuss his needs and kind of what he might need for summer students. And then again, so there's the grant, so the major difference between summer experience and Canada Summer Jobs, summer experience, very limited with the amount of time, although a little bit better compensation for shorter term. Canada Summer Jobs, a lot more likely, but there's also things to consider, kind of depending on how many we get, we might not get approved for them all. So if we kind of shoot for the moon and go for it, we might lose out on some funding on other ones because they might cap. So I planned on the 10th to have basically like a 3 or 4 or 5 year kind of scope up of how much money we've got over the last couple of years and kind of what we got, so we can kind of project. But this is basically what I could throw together. So I hope it's enough for a discussion. We have the human resources meeting on the 10th. So the plan was to hopefully, if we can't get everything locked down, then we can get that locked down. Then we can apply for the grants. If anything changes, we can always change it last minute. It's not a big deal. In that regard, we're better to shoot for the moon and then hope that if we change anything up, then we can revise it. It's not a big deal, but ideally you want to have the more kind of, for at least for the first shot at it, Canada Summer Jobs being the 12th, summer experience being the 18th. Both of those we've had really good success with over the years. So that's kind of what I had together for that. Be happy to answer more questions after, but I'm presuming we want to go through the whole thing and then we can talk about that after. So next thing, outdoor rinks, ice conditions. So as you've noticed, the weather is not good. So we don't really have ice at all. It's not really even humanly possible to make ice. So we're not looking at ideal conditions until January 10th or later, and that's really hoping for the best. Harold's giving me the look, he knows best, so I'm thinking that probably that's my classic optimist coming out, and probably not the case. School use at St. Andrews KPS and the home schools have set requests, and we've approved them as needed, but with kind of the notion that we don't know when the ice is going to go in, so that's the best we can do. I do have more to discuss about this in close, so we'll stay tuned for that. Tammy has a report tucked in after that we can look at. Okay, finally, newsletters. So council profiles. So 250 to 300 words introducing yourself to your community. Information should be fun and lighthearted and can include information about your background, birthplace, family, hobbies, history, interesting facts, or what you love about KHR. I made this fun example using myself. So you can kind of see kind of how that's going to work out. That's exactly 300 words. That's is purposely by design, but that's kind of what 300 words looks like. So you can kind of see the flow of that, what I put in there. It's really up to you what you want to put in. If you want to put in more, you can, but ideally I've kind of blocked that out in the whole newsletter to basically be like, if we go too much more over that, we're basically gonna be taking pages and pages and pages up with that. So if you can have that with by the 13th, and if you want, what you can do too is you can call me or email me and we can do an interview on the phone or in person, and I can help you write it up. So kind of leave it open to council about what they want to do. And then I have more to discuss on that in close. And that's my report.
Anybody have any comments? Questions? I do.
Sure.
So in talking to Tammy earlier this night, she informs me that if we hire a student, there's no cost to the township whatsoever.
Yes, so both of them are prorated. So we still have to pay some form of wages. And
Like a percentage,
yes, correct.
less than 10 or 15%.
I think it's 25 or more. It might be 30. I'd have to double check. I can get better numbers. Like what I can do is give you like a scope of like the last 5 years, how many students we got, how much that costs us, how much hours we got out of it, because it's different for everyone too. Like sometimes Dean's guys will cap over where they stop covering it after a certain amount of time and then we're paying full time. So there's like an optimal pocket of like how long we have them and what they'll reimburse, like, because they don't always reimburse the full. They might, I think it's, I don't want to say the exact number because I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like a set number almost for each job. So it almost doesn't matter how much each student's getting paid. They cap it out at a certain amount of money that they're going to pay per student. Luckily, the last couple of years, it's been really good where they've given us a lot of whatever, but with the way things are going, maybe they won't. Like, it's hard to tell. So it'd be better to look at it as a 5-year thing and see kind of what we've got out of it and kind of go from there. And then again, there's the other piece of it where it's like, if it's a shorter term job and it's only going to be a couple months, then maybe summer experience is better for them because it has a bit better compensation, but it's more short term. So there's different variables kind of based off of what they need. Like maybe Dean only needs someone for a couple months and then we give them summer experience. So, you know, if we want to do that, say, for example, the planner, then they would have, might be a better program for them, but that's kind of the gist of the in and out of it. But I can't really provide you the analytical data at this time, but that would be the best way to kind of scope out, because it's not, like Tammy said, it's not full coverage. And I want to say 25%, it might even be higher than that, but I'd have to go back and look at the exact compensation. Oh,
Did one today. Canada Summer Jobs pays, reimburses for up to minimum wage, which is $15.50.
Okay.
And most of the positions you're talking about wouldn't hire for, you wouldn't be able to hire for $15.50.
no,
And then there's also, whether or not, they cover the mandatory employment related costs, the MERCs, like CPP, WSIE or not, so.
okay,
Bill, is there a term on that?
Hmm?
Is there a term on that?
Well, there's not, but typically we always ask for 16 weeks and we generally get 8 weeks. You know, yeah, we've asked for 16 weeks at 35 hours a week and get 8 weeks at 30 hours a week, so 240 hours. That's what we've got under Canada Summer Jobs. The,
Go ahead.
yeah, the summer experience program is generally the same, so you have to kick in money.
So can you stagger people?
Yeah. Yes.
You know where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So you hire 20 people to cover 10 extra time. Like you have, am I saying that right? So you hire 20 people
okay,
to cover 10 full-time positions. So half and half.
They're likely not going to give us that many.
I'm just using it as hypothetical.
okay,
Over a five.
over apply.
I think that's
Yeah.
get what you're saying,
Yeah.
what you're suggesting.
Okay,
Dean, last year, how many students did you have?
2.
Was that enough or do you need more?
No, 2 would be enough. If we keep, because it's just Sherwood Park, if we keep opening and shutting the gates and that, yeah, 2 is plenty for Mike.
Yeah.
Unless we want to look at a summer student for the landfill,
Why not?
but 2 for the roads are sufficient for.
Like maybe Christmas was.
Okay.
You never know what can be filled,
No, for sure.
and especially kids. Give as many kids as we can a job. Well, and the other thing is, are we in line? I know we have to do this do the applying part. When do we start advertising? It seems like we're always behind.
yeah, this year the goal is to do it much earlier because traditionally we've always been later and that's not ideal. So we're definitely gonna be early. I don't know the exact time that we did it last year, but it's definitely earlier this year because we're competing constantly with all the other municipalities and everyone else for these positions. We've been lucky because people are looking for these jobs and it's good. Usually for dean's guys and swim instructors, it's the other positions that are kind of up in the air. So goal this year is to do it as early as possible. Start advertising, and then, yeah, get the students in here, but it's mainly it's the wages, the better the wage, the more hours, that's what they want. They don't want to do the part-time. A lot of kids, that's what they're looking for, even with the swim program, they're talking about wanting more hours because it's just not necessarily enough with all the extra costs and everything like that. So there's quite a few variables, but we can kind of go at it in whatever direction that you want to go.
Sure. I think you're right. I think the earlier the better because like I said,
We want to start.
the college and university kids are early, right? So, you know, we start cutting grass and like just for the roads crew I'm talking about, we start cutting grass and, you know, before May long weekend sometimes, so it's good to get those guys out there so we don't have to have my crew out there.
And the other question I had, what about a position for social media?
So we can definitely do that. I don't know if they have enough scope of work to do all social media. Typically, the community development assistant would do that, and they would really kick up the Instagram and all that other stuff like that. So did a pretty good job the last couple of years of that. So that's kind of already built into that other one. If you want to do another one, we can, but I don't know if there'd be enough scope of work just to do social media alone, unless it was really part-time, but I don't know. I'd have to figure that out because it's, I don't think that's enough work for someone to do just social media. So that's why it's typically tied into the other role. And like I say, they, last year, the student we had did a really good job, so that's kind of been built into that. So we could, there's other stuff like these things also aren't just for the summer, like there's throughout the year, but they, it's a hard time getting students like that because then they're in school, so.
Unfortunately, we only have until January 18th to apply, so we need to put a plan in place.
Okay.
The quicker the better, and then start advertising as soon as possible. And we have to try to time it so that the kids are home to see the ads. You know, using either social media, using the newspapers, we need to splash it. Okay, because sometimes we lose out if we go too late, kids have already got their jobs, and
Yeah, same thing too early, so.
let's be forefront.
Okay.
Didn't we have a problem with hiring students last year?
Oh, yeah, big time.
We'd offer them jobs and then they phone in and say, no.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Last year, we couldn't get anyone.
So we can do all we can, like, I mean, that's all good ideas, we can do all that, but we've got to make the job attractive for the kids and interesting being the key piece. And my big thing this year is going to be making the descriptions interesting and attractive for the kids, because really, it's not a market for us, it's a market for them. They really have the upper hand because there's so many jobs and not enough people to fill them. So that's kind of my avenue this year, is to make them more fun and interesting, good hours, good pay. But of course, we'll bring it out early and at the right time, and we'll do everything we can to get the kids, because that's what we want. We're gonna give the kids some good jobs and help out the township for sure.
So our meeting is on the 10th?
Yeah.
Would you be able to give us some firm?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, that was a plan. I'll have everything. I'll have all the analytics. I'll have all the descriptions. I'll have all the everything ready to go.
Like the scenarios,
Can make up a couple different things. If we do this and that versus this and that, I'll give you the full swash.
the full wish list,
Yes.
serious wish list.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'd encourage you to look pretty closely at the national priorities this year, because they have changed from
Okay.
previous years.
Yep.
And they might be a little, they're fairly highly weighted at 15%
Okay.
of the vote, and they might make it more challenging.
Okay.
Creative writing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I have a question for you. Realistically, what's the latest we can wait to put the ice in?
First cold day. I know, I think that Jeff has already started, he had ice down there in Killaloe, and when you look at it now, but there's nothing. So it's like, at -3 and -4, you might make ice in the night at -4, even in -3, if it's sunny out in the daytime, it's gone. It's not cold enough.
And realistically,
And we're usually done and gone by the second week of February, if we can make it that far. These last few years, it's just been unbelievable.
so I think we need to read into that answer. If we can't get ice at a certain point, we know it's gonna be out early February. Why incur the cost to bring people in if it's only gonna last 3 weeks? We have to weigh that. You know, we have to be realistic.
I know there's a lot of traffic going down around Lake, you're looking at why not even it started. It's,
It could get cold, to stay cold from March, so you don't know. It's all weather.
And I had our grandkids wanted ice, there was no ice.
We can't go on the assumption that it's going to be gone the second week of February, because we don't know the weather.
No.
So
Just keep all those variables.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, newsletter.
Yep.
Question for you about that. Okay. I understand that promise.
Yes, that was an in camera. There's gonna be stuff in camera for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that. That's very good. Pathway Fund.
Yep.
And all the funding.
Yep.
Do you have a breakdown of how everything's been allotted in Pathway Park? The dollars to each stage you've done?
Yep, I could put something together, for how much everything cost and, so you're looking for a specific breakdown of how much funding we got and where that funding went and when we did that and what's left and stuff like that, okay. Yeah.
That'd be great. Sorry, I took all the questions. Does anyone have anything else?
But Chris, when, that batch program will start?
So we're hoping to launch it in mid-late January. We've got some stuff we're still gonna figure out with costing. They're basically just would have released January 1st, the new cost. And then so now with the new year, we've got to find a contractor to see what an updated cost would be in these kind of conditions, because unfortunately, everything changes by a month. So we're hoping to basically get that planned out, run down winter and then spring, that we're gonna have, our goal is 10 benches. The idea being that the families would pay for the cost of the benches and possibly installation, but if installation ends up being too much, we do have a slush fund that we can use for that. That's part of our future planning for that park through grants that we receive, that we can add into that if it's gonna be too much, because the cost of stuff's getting really out of control. So I'd say late January, early February, launch the program for sure, and then run it through until spring, and then install the benches once we're able to in the spring.
So we'll see you in camera.
Okay, sounds good.
Don't do anything with it. And then anything else I have, I've gotten closed.
Okay, I have a couple things. I passed on to you guys, just information only for the map of County of Renfrew facilities, which is just a map of how the townships are all surrounding us. And I think this will help for those that don't know, the understanding why I'm going to try to get mayors that we're touching base on. Like, we're a landlocked township. Did you find that?
No,
Yes.
yeah, no, I don't have one.
Yes, you did.
Unless it's hiding somewhere. We can share, we're good.
So just to show you that we're like a landlocked area, that all these townships around us. So what I'm trying to organize is a meeting of the mayors that we're touching to discuss efficiencies, that type of thing. So that's just a little reasoning. The next page was a weighted vote from the county, just so that everyone sees that on the next page. So that there was a vote, our vote counts 8. Okay. And the last page was an orientation video, which the county provided. There's a link provided here to view if anybody wants to see it, all their services. Actually, it's a really good video for those who haven't seen it. It's well worth to watch it. My last thing on correspondence is we all have received a letter from Ed Shipper and family in regards to the library hours. At some point when we're doing our community development, we'll address that in that. So I want to make sure everyone has that.
I got it on the phone.
Yeah. It's well worth the read for those who haven't read it. And you might want to give the committee some input in that regard.
What is that regarding? The hours of library.
And it was closed all during Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. That's the library committee that does that, right?
Yeah, that's, I said, any comments that anyone has, please direct them to our committee. So I don't have any correspondence done.
We're gonna make a package. Correspondence, there's only one page, Pueblo Valley business. So we're gonna mail to you.
Yeah, okay, I did get it.
Normally, I have the correspondence, usually what's the under there, normally there's a little bit more.
Correspondence, Ottawa Valley Business.
I see in there that gives her how much money we're getting from our old CIF funds. Who's in there? On Page 5.
You're pretty sharp.
I read this.
You pretty sharp. I just got the letter. I think they got the letter before we got this stuff. Anyway, so the John Heck Busby, it's my pleasure to announce the province of Ontario through the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund has approved your 2023 allocation of $231,179 to meet local infrastructure needs in response to pressures from inflation.
County went for about $2,815,973.
Okay, good. So we're gonna have to
What's that for?
infrastructure.
Different projects, specific projects?
The good part is that we get to know before January 1st, which will help during the budget. At least we have something concrete in paper.
Yeah.
We're very excited about that. For starts, for start. Okay, any discussion as far as Ottawa Valley business, other things?
I'd like to bring something up. I just saw the letter from the county of the health
unit.
the health unit about overdoses.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking it might be something to think about is having naloxone kits and like some of the trucks in the county, like I think if you go to parks to do events and stuff, we know we have this issue, you know, in our area. It might be good to have one here.
Yeah, they'll give it to you for free. They have
Yeah, I
them.
mean, they're free, you know,
St. John
it's just,
ambulance.
maybe we should have them in our, just in case.
That's an idea.
Yeah, it might
We
save a
there
life.
in the fire trucks.
Ready?
Yeah,
This is an excellent, really good idea.
You have to be trained to use that. I thought it seemed
Super
super
easy,
easy.
super easy.
yeah.
Isn't it just like a diabetic needle or?
No, it's a nasal spray. It's a nasal.
Oh, just like a test.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just you have to be really careful, because when you give it, if somebody's really like tripped out on drugs, they might react and punch you, because it gets them right out of their high really fast. So you give it, and then I would stand back.
We'll just call Chris.
I remember learning that when we wrote about them, so.
We should even consider that for.
Uh-huh. I just think, yeah, they're
It would be
free.
no cost.
There's no cost, keep them in the
glove
glove boxes of like maybe some of the county, our vehicles, you know, our killer vehicles have maybe one or two here. If you go out, maybe like, you know, to those events, the music in the park and stuff, like just in case. Yeah,
That's great. Yeah. What kind of direction we need? Call them and ask for as many free ones as we can get.
Yep.
Come up with a number.
I'm thinking if we did one for all the trucks and we have two here, Chris can have two.
Are they,
Visitor center.
is there expiration on them?
That I don't know, but they will literally give them for free. If they do expire, they'll redo
yeah,
it.
they do, I think they do expire, but they're, yeah, they're free, they're readily available.
Fire trucks.
Fire trucks do that.
And, oh, do they have that?
Fire trucks do have them, because I remember Bob telling that last year.
Mhm.
And it's more for the firefighter safety, because you go to car and
You know,
which one I'd like to get into.
okay? So now we're in the final.
And now to bylaws, and I have three.
Can I have a motion? Do I do that now? Or are you reading first?
No, I have a motion.
Okay.
So moved by Bill Smith, second by Carl Keel, that bylaw 01/2023 being a bylaw authorizing the borrowing of money to meet current expenditures of the council of the township of Killu, Haggerty and Richards be given its first, second, and third reading and finally passed this third day of January 2023.
Can I have a motion for bylaw
First,
zero?
all those in favor?
Where's that?
So all those in favor?
All those in favor? Carried.
And then you sign the bylaw, hold on.
Where did you change the format of this from? Or no?
No.
This is the one we're changing.
Yep, that we've already changed it.
Okay.
So now the second.
Can I have a motion for bylaw 02/2023?
Moved by Harold Levine, second by Carl Keel, that bylaw 02/2023 being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy and the payment of interim taxes and to provide for a penalty and interest of 1.25% for the year 2023 be given its first, second, and third reading and finally passed this third day of January.
All those in favor? Carried. Can I have a motion for bylaw 03/2023?
Moved by Maureen McMillan, second by Bill Smith, that bylaw 03/2023 being a bylaw to extend the contract for the provisions of the services of fire chief be given its first, second, and third reading and finally passed this third day of January 2023.
All those in favor? Carried.
Susan there.
Chris, you stuck us in a time loop. That clock is like just
Stuck in the bottom again, too.
permanently set.
We're in
It's the
the,
bottom.
we're in the lotus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time to move on.
It's sort of a dream.
So, unfinished business then? Unfinished business, we included a copy of the sheriff fishing act, the letter that we discussed in the last meeting. Originally, there was to be my name and John Yakulowski's name. But Henry informs me that John can't sign the letter, so that he can support the letter. So we had to redo the letter and now we have to re-sign it, second. So just so you're aware of what's going on. Did you sign it or did I sign it?
The comments in the letter didn't change.
Yeah.
Start when it gets on now. The other item I had for unfinished business, just to, is there a process in writing as far as what's gonna happen with Queen Street? the building? I know we discussed it last week about the bids, but what's our next step now?
So Dale is actually getting the letter sent out to the successful company and contract per se, so the service contract. So he's getting that prepared and then he sends it to them, they sign it, and then you all let council know when they're ready to start.
Because in that original process, it was January, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
So I believe
We
it's
all
still,
mentioned
we're
it.
still
They
on
could start
track.
First,
Yeah.
Because they're in Pembroke or Petawawa or something, and they're coming here,
Yep, correct.
which is great.
Yep.
So then you'll let us know about that.
Yeah.
Seems like I'm doing a lot of talking tonight. It's only 7 o'clock.
No, there's 2 hockey games on tomorrow. I got to bed early tonight. Canada plays tomorrow.
Okay. And wait, one more thing. Under new business. So I just want to mention that the budget process will start for all department heads, and we do a letter for this. I'm not sure what has been done in the past, but this year's budget, when someone presents a budget, I would like to see for all of our benefits, the 2021 actual, the 2022 budget, the 2022 actual, the 2022 variance, and then finally the 2023 budget. So there's a clear history before the budget goes in. So just so that's everyone's on the same page. Because we're starting fresh. And we need to know all the backgrounds to move forward. So honest, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'd like a feel or permission, whatever you want to call it, just that in talking to the kids on the weekend about the sound quality, and plus our audience talked about the sound quality. And I think this was discussed in previous council about microphones all along. Does anyone have any thoughts about that?
I do. I just, the last time we talked about it, for the amount of people that we get watching it, we didn't figure it was worth it at the time. How many people actually do watch it, do you know?
Talking to the kids, there seems to be a lot of people want to, but they don't like it. They just flip it off.
we just have to talk louder.
Nothing wrong with that.
We can get some stats.
We need numbers and we need to know the costs
Yeah.
for microphones.
Like ballpark, it will probably be less than $8,000. Ballpark. And if we are gonna have more of a social media presence, and we want people to watch this council meeting and all those kind of things, and maybe eventually go to committee meetings being broadcast, etc. It may be, we're looking into the future maybe, and it may be helpful.
Could we not upgrade the sound here to a better system that picks up better, or what? I don't know. I don't know nothing
I
about
think it
that.
has all to do with the resonance of people, like the voices specifically, and the like, where you are in relation to the owl and how it picks up the sound and like, I mean, realistically, you'd have to compare the sound quality, kind of each video and see if that's different. Like, I don't know how much of a difference, obviously it would be better with a microphone, but I don't know all the integration of that. That'd be like a Carrie Mass kind of question about how all the integration of that would all work. Like,
See, we can, our procurement is 15,000, right? We don't need to. Terry was the person that I asked. He said probably between 6 and 8. So something to think about. It's not that we need to do this tomorrow or the next day, but think about it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, Northwood went over for put them in, I think, last year, so you might have a price on what it cost them too.
good. And I know at the county level now, every table has them, and it's even within, and I know they're bigger rooms, but, and I don't know how big Naw is as far as their room.
That'd be the size of this.
Span. So, and I think Madawaska Valley, I think they have them too. Did we see microphones there?
Mhm.
That they were there? So,
Whitewater does for sure as well. I've been to that council.
it's something to think about, and let's give it some thought before the budget, and if we're interested, and in talking to Terry, I don't think it would take long to get them. And the big thing would be for the 7 months, so. Okay. Okay, now I am done.
Full chairs, dude. Yeah, bigger chairs like my MD.
So we're gonna, excuse the general public, the prevention event committee.
So motion to enter into committee of the whole.
We'll wait until,
Is this a closed session?
Yeah, we're going into
closed session.
committee of the whole closed session. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
We're just double checking that we, or you will have Sean Cameron on as a delegation next week.
Sean Cameron.
Yeah.
He is coming, he is
Yeah.
coming for sure.
Him
Okay,
and
so-
Rob Norris are coming.
Pardon?
Him and Rob Norris are coming. I
Okay.
believe Rob's coming, but
And I'll put Rob Norris.
just wants to get new council quick session on all the work.
So
So,
next meeting delegation.
yeah,
On what?
he's for all power or
Red from
RPG,
yeah, RPG.
RPG and, Rob is for RPG too, or?
Well, just put Sean down. I
Okay.
think.
Okay. I will-
You run like Proctor's Association,
Yes,
Rob.
yeah. Okay, so the motion, I have to do it in one.
You know what you didn't have on here? We're gonna ask them for my meeting schedule.
Your meeting schedule?
Yeah, I want to add their meetings to this.
You said you're gonna do it in committee, like in,
Oh, okay.
under committees.
Oh, yeah, because we never had any committee reports, right?
No.
Mhm.
Can I still do that now?
Yep.
Can I backtrack? Sorry.
I missed, so you're gonna quit talking.
No, you guys are gonna talk.
Just
So,
trying to keep you up like.
Yeah. I couldn't sleep last night after Canada won, and then the football players at Bill's got her.
was that the best goal you ever saw?
Oh, it was crazy. I just feel went through the ceiling.
Like, unbelievable. And then turn the football game on,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I got
sad.
Yeah,
that was unreal.
Yeah,
You go from here to here.
yeah.
I'd like you to know that there's 32 days until the start of the NASCAR season.
yes.
I watched the Rose Bowl yesterday.
You're NASCAR?
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, would you-
Okay, so we need some dates. Because Harold, your group is when? Your meeting is on 9. And that'll be your second one, right?
Yes.
That's good.
Oh. You never know, see?
Human resources. Your next one is the 10th,
Yeah,
and that is your second one.
yeah, and that's at 6:30.
And Harold's is at 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian's not here. We should make a meeting for Brian.
Yeah, you do.
Let's get that. Carl,
Yes.
policies and procedures.
The property standards. This is my favorite subject. You getting on a date for me, or you get a, oh, it doesn't matter, except the 11th, that's my birthday. I'm turning 47.
How about? Who's in your group? And Harold, so it's gotta be a 7 o'clock meeting. How about this Thursday, the 12th? Is that too soon?
Thursday I had fire.
How about Monday, the 16th?
When is Roma?
It's the 22nd,
Yeah.
24th.
Oh,
Orientation. It's gonna be a 3. It won't be longer than that. So. The first of every meeting of the group is 1 hour.
Sixteenth?
Yeah.
You're good?
Then possibly.
Yeah, fine.
That's, yeah.
7?
January 16th, 7 o'clock, Carl, Ted, and Harold. Okay. Are Mondays good for you or bad for you?
Oh, they're fine.
Okay, let's flip to Maureen.
Well, Bill, when are you free to have a meeting? I'll compare schedules.
Yeah, when do you want?
So Maureen is Maureen, Bill, and Brian.
Uh-huh.
So how about this Thursday, the 12th?
Thursday? That works. 6:30? Does that work for you?
Yeah, I prefer not Thursdays, but I can do it. I don't want to be regular.
So you just sign into
Thursdays.
Google.
Okay, how about have it?
Yeah.
The 11th.
For years without.
We have a library board.
I need you to sign into your Google.
Keep that thought, don't lose that thought.
Can you hear me there?
Then just for that Thursday.
Yeah.
We won't make it a regular thing, but for that Thursday,
Okay.
so it'll be Thursday, January 12th. And we can have that one at 6:30.
Okay.
Now, as chair, Maureen,
Uh-huh.
will you let Brian know?
Yes.
So Google, it's on Google. Maybe yes, that's another one.
Ted, where do you want to have yours? Protection, emergency management.
Here you go, here you go.
Can't be tomorrow.
No, hockey on tomorrow, on Thursday.
Yep, Thursday.
You
What
want it?
about the 11th, January?
No. That's his birthday.
Are we all invited?
Last time I
Unless I get something to drink here, I don't know.
And how about Thursday, the 12th?
No, fire,
No, that's economic development.
that's fire. Have to be the week of the 23rd. Monday, Tuesday, or
Nope.
Wednesday,
Or enrollment.
so the 23rd. 30th. Or the
Let's do
February.
that. Monday, the 30th. January 30th. That comes at 7 o'clock. Now, Ted, do you want to have that here? Or do you want to go for a tour?
You need for a tour. Fire. Fire department will be there.
Oh, we were gonna wait until they told us, right?
Because their thing is on the 10th, their meeting. We'll have one till March, so Wednesday, by monthly meetings.
January 30th, Ted, Harold, and Carl, January 30th, 7 o'clock. Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And then the other, okay, so. How about the 25th of January, or Wednesday? Finance committee.
That's everyone.
That's everybody.
What's that?
Wednesday, January 25th, finance committee. And that's everyone.
First at 7.
It's a little challenging. I should be okay, but I'm having cataract surgery
Oh, geez.
on the Tuesday. So that's Wednesday night. So it should be
You
okay.
should be fine.
I might sit there like this.
I can pick you up, Bill.
It's okay.
Can we make it a little bit later, because we're just coming back from Walmart. In terms of being prepared,
Okay, how about, scratch that, how about January 31st, it's a Tuesday. Tuesday,
We're in business.
Maybe I'll be able to see by then.
January 31st?
Yeah.
Okay.
At 6:30 or 7?
7, is
Okay.
10.
Unless maybe we want to have that information. Finance committee. We need
All we need is
the budget and the other background information. Let's see. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow and see what their schedule is.
It's just gonna be first $10 and then $8. Anyone else need any, anything else? Any of us? We're good. So now I have to say. Motion.
So moved by Carl Keel, second by Maureen McMillan, be it resolved that council move into a closed meeting pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations, or employee negotiations.
All in favor? Good.
Okay, so just.